This is the voice of the New York Football Giants, Bob Papa, and you are listening to the best throughout Europe, the Big Blue UK and Ireland podcast.
Welcome back, Giants fans, to the latest edition of the Big Blue UK and Ireland podcast. As always, we are proudly in association with Annie's Man Club. Lads, remember, it is okay to talk, and tonight we are 100% British. And as always, still, we are 100% Giants. Week 10 is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. We're back on this fine, gloomy Friday evening to bring you our preview of this Sunday's game against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field, hoping for a turnaround in our fortunes of late, and we can walk away with that third dub of the season. Are we going to do it? Joining me tonight, Shane, Craig, and Aaron, as we head to the Windy City for the first time since week 17 of 2021. So it has been that long since we've been to Chicago. Boys, how are we doing?
Yeah, back for another episode. Excuse me. I said before we went on there, Craig brought a tear to my eyes with his comments and his rant the other night. Did me proud, definitely. If anybody has to act as me in a future film, I think Craig's definitely up there as a contender. But something I just want to touch on as well before kind of get into the bullshit that is the New York Giants these days. What you said at the start of the show about obviously lads you talk like obviously Marshall Nealand the other night. And I just think that's worth kind of emphasising that we always Dan always starts the intro with lads it's okay. So it's not just a catchphrase. It's not just something that we just a few words that we have to say. It's something that's true and genuine. And condolences to Marshall Nealand's family. Watching him in college and the big play that he made last weekend, it was a damn shame as to what happened in the week.
Yeah, man, 100% echo that.
Yeah, a bit of a weird one in the NFL landscape, I guess, with what's happened there. Obviously, that news broke yesterday morning, and we didn't really know a lot about it. And as it sort of came out throughout the day, the only thing you could think of was the fact that at 24 years old, it's no age at all. But not just that. I think it brings into perspective that everyone looks at NFL players and you look at people in the spotlight and, celebrities and people like that, and you think it must all be, flowers and roses, and it's really not. People are battling their own demons at all times. And maybe it's another reason that we need to be more careful about what's said on social media, especially certain things, I know we'll probably get into it a bit later with a certain kicker of our own, who's not the first kicker from the Giants to receive certain messages from people. And I think that little things like what happened yesterday should really bring it into the forefront of what happens.
Aaron, how you doing?
Yeah, not too much to add. It's that time of year where the season gets longer, the nights get longer, the weather gets shit. I'm just glad I get to come on here a couple of times a week and chat New York Giants ball with all of you guys and the audience that join in the chat. Predictions this week will be interesting because I think this is an interesting game, and we'll get into it a little bit later.
It absolutely is an interesting game. It's one of those that, again, it is. I mean, we'll talk about the Bears in a minute, but it's not an easy game to call because I genuinely think it could go either way. But yeah, obviously with the Marshall Nealand thing, like, it's just absolutely tragic. Someone so young in the prime of his life. And he obviously had his issues, also had his problems, and it's really fucking sad. I'm not going to lie. It just brings back memories of Javon Belcher when his incident in sort of, I think it was 2011, 2012, the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, he took his own life at Arrowhead, and it just brings back memories of that, and it's just incredibly sad. And I 100% echo everything you said at the beginning there, Shane. You know, we say on here every week that it is okay to talk, and it really is. You know, we're associated with Andy's Man Club, and you know, some of those that watch regularly will know that I've been attending Andy's Man Club for the last 9 months, and it's helped me no end. It really has. Just being able to go there every week and get shit off my chest. It's been incredible, and it's really helped change my life. So if anyone out there is struggling, anyone out there does need to get stuff off the chest, obviously come and join us on a Tuesday or Wednesday evening, because no doubt it'll be a therapy session, and it's a great place to get stuff off our chest. But there are also services out there that are there to help as well. You know, Andy's Man Club being one of them. You got obviously Samaritans and plenty of other services as well. So if you are struggling, if you are having a difficult time, like, there are plenty of options out there for you. Don't bottle it up. It is okay to talk genuinely. But yeah, let's get on to the this weekend then. So Chicago Bears, Sunday afternoon, evening, whatever way you look at it. It's going to be. It could, like I said, it could go either way. But if you are watching live, get involved in the comments. Send your predictions in as well. We'll be calling the game at the end of the program, so get them into us, and we'll bring it up at the end. Don't forget to like the episode, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, and feel free to leave us a review on your platform of choice. Aaron, how many stars? There we go, 5 stars. As per usual, will be lovely. Thank you very much. As usual, we are going to start off with the latest news. And the sort of the merry-go-round of the kicker situation seems to be rolling on. Could we have our third kicker of the season on the field on Sunday? Chances are it's going to be a yes. Obviously, earlier this week, it was noted by many of the beat reporters that Graham Gano wasn't on the field despite not being named on the injury list. And he was then, Brian Dable was then asked about it, and he confirmed that it was a neck injury, and that he just accidentally missed him off the previous day's report. Now, I don't believe that for a second. How can you just accidentally miss somebody off the injury report? Poor, if you ask me. And then it's been revealed since then by Graham himself that he woke up with neck pain last week, but it was manageable and it was okay. And then he decided to lift some weights on Monday, and the pain got so intense he went to the doctor, and it was there that he was diagnosed with a herniated disc. Great. And he was given an injection directly into his spine. Art Stapleton did press him, saying, that doesn't sound like a day-to-day injury. But Gano turned around and said it was normal. He hopes to kick, and etc., etc. Davis has since confirmed as well that if Gano isn't ready to go, then obviously ex-Falcons kicker Younghoe Koo will be the starter on Sunday. And it's looking likely that it will be going that way. The Giants did have a tryout yesterday. Ben Sauls, who is an undrafted free agent out of Pitt, has been on the practice squad of the Falcons until earlier this week. So there's obviously another kicker in the building coming to try out. Now, it's an interesting one because obviously last week with Graham Gano missing the field goal, and he just pulled it. It was kind of like a meh, didn't really matter. And it was like, well, it kind of does matter a little bit. But then since then, the joy that is Giants social media and all these accounts on X and everywhere else, have subjected the guy to death threats. Now, no matter what, in all honesty, he's missed a field goal. He's not been there this season because of injury. He's not been there last season because of injury. No matter what he does that really warrant a death threats from so-called fans? Like, not at all. No, it doesn't. And then you wonder why you get players like Marshall Nealand that are going through struggles, and end up doing what he does, because you get unnecessary hate on social media. And I think it's absolutely disgusting, some of the things that have been said about Graham Gano. And none of us here condone anything that's been said about him in that way. And it really, really grinds my gears. Especially for those people in the public eye and in the spotlight. It just really pisses me off, because, like, what have they done to deserve that? They've done nothing to deserve that. They've gone out there and done the job as best as they can. It's not necessarily his fault he's got this injury. And it just, it really pisses me off. And obviously, Drew McTamaney was subjected to it a few weeks ago as well. So it's just really unnecessary. Graham Gano mentioned gambling as a potential catalyst to the messages. But Shane, what's your thoughts on the whole situation around that?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the best way to put it is, like, anyone who sent death messages to him, they're scumbags and they're not fans at the end of the day. That's a simple way to put it. You can tweet someone and be like, "Oh, I can't believe you missed that field goal," or "How did you miss that field goal?" Or, then you kind of frustrations at it. But to turn around and say to somebody, "I hope you die," or "I hope you kill yourself," is absolutely fucking disgraceful. And that they're not fans of this organisation. They're certainly not fans of this podcast. And if they were, they can no longer be a fan. In my personal opinion, I'll get talking for you free. But at the end of the day, if that's kind of what you're saying to people, like, let's say you work in Asda and you mischange somebody. How would you feel if someone said, "You fucking died because you shortchanged me by a penny"? What's the difference? You've done something wrong in your job. He's done something wrong in his job. Doesn't mean it's right or it's condonable. But in regards to Graham Gano himself, I mean, the thing that did piss me off about the situation is you've said that, like, he had the injury, he felt a bit stiff last week. But then why did he kick last weekend and he missed that field goal? And it just feels like it's deja fucking vu every single year of, not just Graham, any player in general on the Giants. It seems at the minute that they get this niggling injury and they don't do anything about it, but then it ends up costing us at some point in the game. And that's something that kind of frustrates me the most, and that I find the biggest annoyance, to be honest.
Yeah, you're not wrong, man. Aaron, what's your thoughts on it?
Yes, it's disgraceful. I think that it's in something that Graham's been tracking over the last 3 years. I think probably all kickers have to deal with something similar. I don't think it's necessarily just Giants fan base or just people that are bet or whatever. It's just there's a minority, a small minority of people who think it's acceptable to send. I think the specific one he was referencing was saying "get cancer and die," and it's just absolutely abhorrent. And for me, I think the Rams just announced that they're going with the thicker kicker this week instead of Joshua Carty this week, because Joshua Carty's missed 8 field goals in the season. I'm sure Joshua Carty's been getting the same sort of messages that Graham Gano is. Kicker is a really difficult position to play, because unless you're perfect, like, it's always your fault. Like, it could be a bad snap, it could be a block, it could be the wind that we're going to experience this week it could all be a reason why you miss a kick, right? I think the thing that annoys me the most about the Graham Gano situation is the way it's been handled by the team from a why is this guy on the team with his injury history and the amount that we're paying and what you can get out in the kicking market. I think that's the frustration I see from fans. It's not necessarily specifically with Graham himself. If he thinks he's if I'm a kicker and I wake up with a stiff neck, sometimes I think, it'll be gone by the time I get to the stadium or whatever. It's not affecting my leg, it's my neck. Like, I don't want to report out to a trainer or whatever. I can see how you get to that situation. Obviously, it's not as egregious as him having a groin injury and then going into a game with him as the only active kicker and him doing it against last year against Washington, right? So, yeah, I just think shouldn't be in there. And if you're gambling and a kicks that means that much to you, don't gamble. Don't gamble more than you can afford to lose. I like a flutter. I like playing fantasy. I like putting things on.
Who doesn't, right?
But if it's so much that you're living or dying, you're shouting out down people, you're telling people to go and die on Twitter. Maybe you don't have a flutter. Maybe reduce your stake. Play something that's simple, just a bit of fun, just to put a bit of they're putting your money where your mouth is, not live or die off the results of your hunches.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was listening to the Blue Rush podcast, which is the New York Post's one, and they had Lawrence Tynes on there. The Tynes has been off podcast for a couple of years. I think he kind of had enough of having to talk about the Giants for a bit and just kind of wanted to go back to being a fan and spending time with his family rather than having to do that all the time. But they brought him back because Brandon London's gone to Germany for this weekend. And he was pressed on a myriad of things, accountability on the defense. He was asked about Jackson Dart, what the Giants need to do, loads of different things. But one of the things that Schwartz kind of put to him was about the whole Graham Gano situation. And it was interesting to listen to what Tynes was saying. The amount of times that we've seen Graham go down before a game, or he's got a niggly injury and he goes down before a game and we're up shit creek. Tynes was like, that's nothing to do with Graham, because Graham's fine. Graham's fine up until the day, and he's it's down to the coaches, it's down to the team to actually shut Graham down on that particular thing. He also did say though that, and this is something that he said is not personal. He's quite good friends with Graham. They speak every so often, but from a business standpoint, the Giants should have cut him in the offseason because of the cap hit and because of the age and because of the injury history. Now, as we know, positional groups are very protective of their own. So, Pat McAfee is a big proponent for punters. A lot of kickers will back up kickers. Kickers are people too. And for someone like Tynes to come out and say something like that, I think it's quite eye-opening to hear that from somebody who's played that position, and not just played that position, but played that position for this team, has won Super Bowls, 2 of them exactly, and has continued to follow the team and to work with the team. For him to come out and say that, I think speaks volumes. But he did say that there are a lot of things that have been put on Graham's shoulders that have nothing to do with him. It's just circumstance. And even he said, at no point in his career, apart from one game, was it ever that there were 2 kickers active, and that was pure. I think he said it was a playoff game against the Eagles, and he was backing up the kicker. He was the secondary kicker, and that kicker missed 2 field goals from within 40 yards. I can't remember his name, but well worth listening to if you've got. I think it was 40 minutes.
Nice, but yeah, it's a great point, and it does speak. Like I said, it does speak volumes that a fellow kicker and a fellow ex-Giants kicker has made those comments. So it's it'd be interesting to see if the team have any comment to make on that. If that's brought to any of the coaches in the pressers over the weekend, so that'd be quite interesting.
Well,
let's go on.
They won't answer it.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's not like it's not like we got a long answer from anybody about the Banks deck stuff. They just brushed it off, didn't they? So
yeah,
we know what these press conferences are like.
Because you brought up his name, Deontay Banks, it kind of ties in with news a little bit. I was reading earlier on that
it was Cole Banks I was talking about, but if you want to take it as
I'm on
Deontay Banks, you're fine.
But yeah, while Banks' name's been brought up, Tay Banks. I was reading earlier on that prior to the Colts trading for Sauce Gardner, they made a call to the Giants about Tay Banks.
Why do we not let him go?
I just wonder what is anybody disappointed, surprised, frustrated that maybe we didn't answer that call, or we didn't at least get a 7th round pick in 2029 for him?
Yes.
Well, maybe we could have swapped him for a Donnie Mitchell. That would have been nice.
Done deal.
Maybe our asking price was too high. Maybe we went for 2 first-round picks and a Donnie Mitchell, and they went, I can get Sauce Gardner for that, and that's what maybe that was the mistake.
Maybe we were the bridesmaid there. If you don't get the bride, go for the bridesmaid sort of thing.
or do you reckon no trade was done because they've been told you're out at the end of the year, you're not making moves for any draft picks, you're not moving any players on. It's not going to be you. It's going to be the next front office's decision to make.
See, I don't think Joe's gone. So
No,
I don't think
I
that there's.
that's why we're going to be fucking shit for the next 3 or 4 years again.
But I honestly don't think that he's gone. So that's his prerogative, isn't it? I just think I don't know. There's many a conspiracy theory that we could go down here about Joe maybe not doing anything.
I'm all for
force Dave.
I'm all for conspiracy theories over talking what the defense is going to do this weekend. To be perfectly honest.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Do you think that Joe Shane didn't do anything at the trade deadline to force Brian Dable to have the players that he's got, knowing full well that Brian Dable can't do anything with the players he's got anyway,
and knowing full well that Dable's gone at the end of the year?
Yeah.
Why
give
him ammunition to potentially save his job, not save his job, and then you've made yourself look bad?
Yeah.
So I noticed that LPG tweeted that there's noticeably less dap-ups between Shane and Dable on the sideline at games this season. They're noticeably more distant than they have been in the past.
Yeah, and I think that's a telltale sign, isn't it? There's definitely a little bit of a rift there. But
writing's on the wall, as they say.
Yeah, the writing's on the wall. I literally would have just taken a 7th round pick for Tay Banks at this point. No, nothing else. It's better than what we've got on the field.
But the thing is, there's loads of annoyances like Jalen Hyatt. Why did you not deal him? Why did you not get rid of Evan Neal? If you're not going to test them, just cut them. Like,
exactly.
The Evan Neal one, I get not trading him for cents on the dollar because he is a free agent. He's not going to be cut. He'll be a free agent in the summer. If he is signed somewhere and does play at all, you're getting a 5th or a 6th for him as a comp pick. So there is some value in, the Vikings are going to get a 3rd round pick for Daniel Jones, right? Because he was on their roster and let him go to be a free agent and the playing time he's had with the Colts, right? So there is some value in keeping them. No, I think Hyatt is kind of different, and certainly Banks is different because he's not at the end of his contract. So if you're cutting him, you're not getting anything for him as a comp pick anyway. So Banks is the one that should have been traded. Maybe they didn't trade him because they literally have the cupboard is so bare at cornerback that it was you've got to throw someone out there.
I'd rather play with 10 men.
I am wondering. I would be very, very interested to see with flop back at CB2 whether Banks gets anything, or whether they go Corey back or Converse, whatever his name is. I'm just going to call him Converse from now on. But Converse, because I'm pretty sure that he came in. So after Banks whiffed that, I didn't even whiff it. He just didn't fucking try. But when he let that touchdown go in. To Robinson, wasn't it? When he let that touchdown go in from Robinson, Biz was saying he was pulled from the game, and Converse was put in for pretty much the rest.
Converse is in the game,
for the rest of the game. So I am wondering whether we even see Deontay Banks. I mean, I'm going to take this down the jokey route here, but do we move maybe Gunnar Olszewski up to the backup wide receiver, and we have Banks and Hyatt returning kicks and kickoffs?
I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
I know Shane loves his 1st round kick returners, so
as long as they're from TCU.
Why not try Evan Neal back there?
Keith says, "What could they have got for Evan Neal in a trade? Nectar vouchers, complimentary millionaire strawbread from Costa Coffee."
To be honest, I would have taken an IKEA pencil.
And I'd say we'd still won that trade.
Yeah, hands down, won that trade. Absolutely. But yeah, it's a great point you make about Evan Neal, though, Aaron. Yeah, the comp pick obviously that could potentially be up for grabs there. I think Jalen Hyatt's next stop in his career could potentially be maybe is it the UFL now or is it the XFL, whatever it is? That's probably where he's destined to go.
He'll take the Tony route. He'll take the Tony route. He'll go to the Chiefs and just become like a weird gadget player for them and end up winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he'll get a ring. Yeah, guaranteed. And then
Evan Neal will probably get a ring as well.
Yeah, and then he'll probably end up in like Canada or, like I said, the UFL, or even just packing in football completely and maybe going to be some R&B singer. I don't know.
Yeah,
rapper, R&B, whatever. Yeah, exactly that.
We have history for turning players into rappers.
Yeah, it's happened twice in the last couple of years.
Just a very quick tangent, and then linking to
we love tangents. Tonight is tangent Shane.
Don't have to be a quick tangent.
So maybe we will see him a lot closer than we think. So, hot off the press this week, the ELF Breakaway League, the EFA, has announced that the London is getting a professional American football team playing out of Leyton Orient's Bet-Right Stadium, and the team is going to be called the London Guard. So we will have a team in London, professional league. They're aiming to make it mostly from Brit ball players, but they'll bring in a few imports, I'm sure. But we will have a professional American football team in London in this coming summer. So maybe we'll see Jalen Hyatt there.
Could we see Kadarius Toney make a comeback?
I know they like to tie in like the names to something around the London Guard is pish, man.
That is wank, isn't it?
That is pish.
It's absolute wank, isn't it?
Oh God, it's just
I mean, what was wrong with the Monarchs? That was a great name.
I actually think London Monarchs was a good name. The Guard is it just Guard?
Yeah, or London Guard.
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 Good God.
God, not Guardians or
or
call them the Beefeaters for fuck's sake.
Yeah,
make it relevant. Or even go down the route of royalty. Like call them the Kings.
Just go for the Ravens.
Yeah.
The
Ravens of the castle. Yeah, fucking
the London Towers.
Plenty of options. But
Guard.
The Guard.
Not the Guard.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Right. Let's end the news on a bit more of a positive note then.
Is there one?
The legend. Yeah, there is. There actually is. The legend that is Tom Coughlin is one of the 9 semi-finalists for the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame. The one finalist will be revealed in January, and Tom Coughlin will be facing off against the likes of Mike Holmgren, who was the finalist chosen last year, Mike Shanahan, and none other than Billy B himself, Bill Belichick. So it might be a little bit of a tough one to get. Keith, no. Absolutely not. For those that are listening, bring that comment back up again. Keith's gone with the Andrew Windsors. No. We won't even go into that. That's not even a subject.
That's on a par with the Prince Alberts, isn't it?
No comment. That's not even a discussion for another day. That's just not even a discussion we're going to have on this podcast. Yeah, he's up against some big names there. I think it'll be tough for him to get in against those guys, but you never know. He is a legend himself, so it's a possibility. Last thing before we get into the game, injury report. So the latest injury report was released this afternoon. Not playing this weekend, so already confirmed out is Paulson Adebo, Bo Collins, Graham Gano, Chauncey Golston, Darius Musau, and John Michael Schmitz. So Austin Schlottmann will slot in at centre, which obviously isn't a bad thing for Jackson Dart because he's played with him in obviously in the preseason and obviously during camp. So, and we've not really seen any issues from Schlottmann so far. So It's pretty good. Chauncey, we were discussing it before we went on air. Like Chauncey Golston, was it the 5th week in 6 that he's been on the injury report and he's been out? Why have we? Why is he not on injured reserve right now? Obviously, with Gano out as well, Young Kweku is going to be the kicker for this weekend. I think the biggest miss though is definitely Paulson Adebo. But with somebody not on the injury report, being Cordell Flott, it's not necessarily as big a miss as we had last week. Obviously, we were out of Flott last week. Doubtful for the game, Victor Dimukeji, again, another one that's just constantly been on this injury report. Why is he not on injured reserve right now? Questionable for the game, probably likely to go, to be fair, Jermaine Illuminor and Javon Holland. So 2 big names that are potentially going to be back in the team this weekend. And God knows we need Javon Holland back in there because our secondary last week was awful. That is the news. We are going to move on to the game itself. And Shane, have you got a tangent for us?
Yeah. I just want to avoid talking about this upcoming game as much as possible. So his name's been mentioned tonight, and I'm going to get there. And the layout of the screen, everyone can see. Obviously, Dan's top left, arm top right, Craig's bottom left, Mayo's bottom right. And my eyes are looking bottom left because he's mentioned his name tonight. Bill Belichick would take the Giants job in a second, Craig.
Oh, piss off. Fuck me. Jesus Christ. Bill Belichick would be lucky to get the Giants job after what he's doing over there in Carolina. I mean, is there anything that the Giants need more than more fuck-ups to see Bill Belichick and his 24-year-old partner as she just walks up and down the sideline, I don't know, handing out Gatorade or something else to the players. Just absolute piss. Just not. No.
But we need. I'm just gonna have fun here now. We need tried and tested, Craig. We keep going with these new offensive coordinators that are the up and comers that aren't up and comers because Brian Dable's not an up and comer. Pat Shermer wasn't an up and comer. Joe Judge wasn't an up and comer. So let's go. We've tried and tested.
Can we not just get like? Do you know what? I'd have McCarthy over Belichick. Hell, I'd have Mick McCarthy over Belichick.
That's where I thought you were going in the first place. I'm thinking, Mick McCarthy?
No, Mike.
I would love that. I mean, to be fair...
it can't get much worse, can it?
It can.
It can.
It can. I'd love Mike McCarthy, to be fair. I think that'd be a great shout. Someone tried and tested.
If we're gonna go tried and tested, or even one the coordinator, why can't we have Spags back as head coach?
Yeah, I'm okay with Spags.
Picks up this defense, mate. Anybody but Alan Pardew. Not a Pardew fan, though.
Keith's right. Bill Belichick is not worse than Dable because Bill Belichick gives the same shit answers but can actually back it up because he's won stuff. However, we've got enough fossils in this organisation with our medical team without having another one as head coach.
But do you not think, and I'm not pro or anti Bill Belichick either way, but do you not think we need someone who can come in here and kind of dictate a little bit to the owners and the GM because and I think that Bill Belichick is someone that John Mara respects and would actually listen to. Whereas I think Brian Daboll and previous head coaches, they've not got that track record, you say, and they've not got that relationship either with the organisation. Whereas Bill Belichick, like I say, I'm not saying I want him hired or I'm not saying I don't. I'm indifferent either way. But I just think maybe we need to get somebody who's got a pair of fucking balls at the end of the day, because since season 1, Daboll, we used to joke calling him Daballs, and he's no balls now at all. So I think bringing in someone like a Bill Belichick who probably has got the balls to turn and say to John Mara, John, this is what's shit about this organisation. This is where you fucked up. This is where we need to go right, because I don't see anybody else coming in and doing that. And also, anybody who does, I think John Mara would tell him to fuck off. Whereas Belichick, I think there's that level of respect there.
Can I be a little bit controversial here?
Yeah, man.
I wouldn't say no to Bill Belichick.
Shane's not going to take that as controversial.
No, I think that's a fair. Neither would I. In all honesty, I wouldn't.
Just for one season, because
How much worse can it get?
Can it get any worse?
But are
just
we
one
just
season? See what
are we
do.
Are we just accepting mediocrity for the sake of 1 year of Belichick trying to how much can you fix in a year?
No, I agree, but you've got to try summit, and this new up and comer is clearly not working at all.
No, absolutely. I'm
in agreement. We need an experienced coach next, and that's
absolutely.
Just that Bill Belichick, McCarthy, John Gruden. Who else you looking at?
I still think Harbaugh is a genuine option because I don't think he stays. I think he leaves the Ravens. I really do.
Yeah. If he left Ravens, obviously you consider him as well. But like, if we want that experience that we keep saying that we want, you're kind of limited as to what experience is out there.
Yeah. A lot of people have said though the biggest problem that we would have, and this is not me being an arsehole in any way and trying to shoot down. I mean, at the end of the day, if Belichick came, Belichick came. However, a lot of people have said that Josh McDaniels is basically what Bill Belichick needs to survive a football team, especially one where he doesn't have Tom Brady. And the biggest problem we're going to have if we bring in someone like Bill Belichick, who is a defensive coach, is Jackson Dart. And are we going to get an offensive coordinator who's going to come in knowing what Bill Belichick's like, and who are we going to be able to get? Because Josh McDaniels is at New England with Vrabel, and look what he's doing with Drake May. Why would he want to give that up when he's got a quarterback there who quite possibly could end up winning MVP this year?
True
that is one of my biggest worries with Belichick is how much of it was him and how much of it was everything as one. Because if there's one piece that's missing, does that then mean that we're getting the Bill Belichick of his last year with the Patriots, or the Bill Belichick that we're currently seeing at UNC?
But then there's likely to be an offensive coach on the market come whether it's next week or the end of the season. Mike McDaniel's
weird. He's weird.
He is. But obviously, an offensive-minded coach. The Miami offense, when Miami were good a couple of years ago, the Miami offense was quite scary. But then, obviously, Tua and his 21 concussions, doesn't really help matters.
When you look at this team, that what we've got though, would you want an offensive-minded coach or a defensive-minded coach? Because I like the idea of a defensive one that's going to get the best out of this defense, because the defense is better than the offense.
And that's exactly where I was going, Shane. So I see a defensive-minded coach coming in as head coach. And if Mike McDaniel's available, I have him as the OC. I don't want him as head coach, but I'd have him as
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Let's for what's the bloody word I'm thinking of? I can't think of the word I'm thinking of. But whatever. Let's Bill Belichick comes in as head coach. Oh, for argument's sake, there we go. Bill Belichick comes in as the head coach.
That's a really obvious word. Surely that. Big 15-letter word.
Apologies. I've had a really fucking long 2 days. I've had 3 hours sleep in the last 48. I'm absolutely cooked. Anyway, Bill Belichick comes in as head coach. Mike McDaniel comes in as the OC.
So I actually saw a mock-up.
Would you say no?
So I saw a mock-up earlier on X of someone who had said Spags as head coach, Mike McDaniel as OC, and Antonio Pierce as DC.
Bosh, but I'm all over that. See, yeah, that'd be a good trio there.
I feel like this episode's just been completely derailed, and the chance of us getting into offense and defense is minimal now. So I think it's just open game. So Shane, is there anything else?
You're welcome, listeners.
We will touch on the game. I promise. It's still the Bears preview podcast, but we will touch on the game. I promise. Shane,
there was
any other tangents?
There was something on the Big Blue View actually where they were talking about they listed sort of 10 head coaches, so we might as well, while we're on this little train, have a chat
Bring it
about them.
And yes, we're on this train, not the tank train, ladies and gentlemen.
I think
It's
we're
too
right.
early for that.
Lane Kiffin
at this point.
Lane Kiffin.
Apparently,
purely because of the Dart link.
Yeah, and apparently Jackson Dart's dad was on an Ole Miss podcast and said that ain't happening. Not sure where he's got that inside information from, but he's basically said that's not happening.
Yeah,
Kafka.
The only way you give it Kafka is if you give him the interim from now till the end of the season and he fucking turns it around and we go undefeated.
Brian Flores. I mean, there is a slight issue with Brian Flores, and that's the fact that there's an unsettled lawsuit against the Giants about when we could actually hire Dable. But
Brian, come in as head coach and we'll settle the lawsuit.
Yeah, we'll put the payout in your contract. We'll make it an incentive for you.
I do genuinely think Brian Flores will be up there for me as a defensive mind.
I think I like Brian Flores as a coach as well. I think he's a good coach. Potentially.
Aaron, you are
he's local to the New York area as well. He grew up in New York and he grew up in Brooklyn and went to high school in Brooklyn as well. So
Aaron, you're the offensive mind. Cliff Kingsbury.
I didn't like what he did as a head coach. Again, he's a bit. I have him in that same category as Mike McDaniel's, a great offensive mind and a great OC. I'm not sure. We've talked all this about Daboll and play calling and not wanting the head coach to play call. Cliff Kingsbury, Mike McDaniel, they're guys you want play calling. If you don't want your head coach play calling, these guys need to be OCs. And pay them as the best OC in the league. Like, have them paid above a head coach at another team. Like, if that's the type of guy you want to bring in. But have them OC.
And also, would Washington let him go to a division rival?
I don't think you can stand in a way for a step up.
No, you can't. No.
No, obviously to go up to be a head coach, no. But I don't know. I don't know. He didn't have the best track record in was it Arizona, wasn't it?
Arizona, yeah. So there are two DCs that they've mentioned. So Jesse Minter, who's at the Chargers, and Jeff Hafley, who is at the Packers. But are we doing a risk again?
Yeah, I quite like Minter, but like I said, for me, I mean, we've kind of not really spoke about it in exactly to get a definitive answer. But I guess it was just all on the train of we want an experienced person in someone who's been a head coach in the NFL before.
Yeah, and I think they need to have a semblance of success as well. I don't think we can just take so that and this is my point where I kind of go, why maybe Spags is not my choice, and that's the fact that Spags has been a head coach before, and it didn't work. It went badly.
It didn't work, yeah.
And that's the only thing that worries me. He was a head coach. Raiders?
Who?
No.
Spags?
Yeah, no.
Spags was Rams, wasn't he?
Rams, yeah.
Oh,
I think it's 1 year or 2 years.
2 years, I think it was.
Yeah,
and I don't think his record was good.
When they were still in St. Louis, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
So
yeah, because he left the year after we won the Super Bowl.
You almost do need to hang your hat on the Steelers or the Ravens choosing to go in a different direction for the first time in forever, and you just go in and just offer them whatever they want. Basically, it really sucks. We were speaking about Vrabel and how we wanted Vrabel last season, and just think.
That's exactly what I was about to say. I know it's easy to say now, but if we'd have cleaned house in January, like majority of us and the fan base were in favour of clearing house again, you had a perfect head coach available in Mike Vrabel, who's done it in Tennessee, had success in Tennessee, kind of turned Tennessee round, at least in my duration as an NFL fan. You know, the Titans were always kind of that bit of a not a joke franchise, but a team that were never really competing in their division, let alone for anything more. And Variable went there and kind of made them, great playoff contenders pretty much every year, and had great success with Ryan Tannehill as well.
Yeah, true. I'm just thinking as well about Spags. What wasn't he the DC when we had McAdoo? Didn't he come back as DC when we had Ben McAdoo?
He was the interim head coach for us in 2017 as well.
Yeah, I thought so. I don't know what his record was with us.
Well,
not great,
crap, weren't we? So
yeah. But again, like it'd be nice to have him back. But
are there many interim head coaches who end up with a good record?
Antonio Pierce?
No.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean, I'd fully take Antonio Pierce as head coach at this point. Just saying, because he didn't do too bad a job in. Were they still in Oakland then? No, they were in Vegas, weren't they?
Vegas. First season in Vegas, I think. Yeah,
quite possibly. All right, yeah, let's get into this game quickly then before we crack on and get off. Low down on the Bears so far this season, Craig. Come on, how are they doing?
Yeah, I'll fire through this as quickly as possible. So the Bears' season collapsed, obviously, last season after they lost the heartbreaker to the Commanders in Week 8, where there was the Hail Mary. Actually, just on a very quick tangent, that game feels very much like our Broncos game, in the fact that Broncos game is going to have the same sort of effect. In fact, I think Brian from the Irish NFL show said that to me a couple of weeks ago, that when that happened, he was like, this feels like that game. But they went on to lose 9 in a row after that, which saw sweeping changes. You've now got Johnson, who's come in, and in his 8 games in charge, he has equaled the Bears' 2024 win record with 5. It's not been pretty. It's not been easy, but Chicago has the NFC's 7th best record, are firmly in the wild card mix. Big difference this year comes in one score games. The Bears are currently 3-1 compared to 2-7 in 2024, and a lot of people putting that down to the mentality change brought upon by Johnson, who has instilled in his team that if you fight to the final whistle, you will reap the rewards. They also seem to be getting to grips with his offensive scheme, which is absolute batshit insane. And good luck anybody who is going to try and decipher that, because the stuff that man comes out with is pretty damn impressive. It was also on full display last week with Caleb Williams catching multiple passes, including one for a touchdown. Little pun here, but this is not the Bears of recent memory who would go into hibernation in the winter. This is a team who are a little bit more on the stronger side and will be eyeing up for the postseason for the first time since 2020. I'm glad that Shane enjoyed that one as well with his little chuckle there.
You've been working on that all day.
Oh, mate, absolutely. I wrote that and I was like, oh, yeah, well, that's a keeper, that one. I can't hear Dan. I don't know about you.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Cool. I don't know what happened there. Yeah, I like that one as well. That was good. Cool. So, we'll get into a little bit of offense. Weather's looking pretty snowy this weekend, right, Aaron? What can we expect?
The game might be a completely different test for our offense this week, and not because of the Bears' defense, but the temperatures approaching freezing. A chance of snow flurries on Sunday. Winds are expected to be in the low 20s, gusts up to 30, which at that sort of thing, your passing game and kicking game will be affected. So don't expect to see many deep passes. What's new? Don't expect to see a long kicking game. Oh, no, they won't be able to hit a 60-yard field goal against us to win the game. Don't count on it. Conditions won't be unfamiliar for our rookie sensation, Jackson Dart. Obviously, famous for playing in the SEC with Ole Miss, having transferred from Southern California. You think, he must be a warm weather guy. But don't forget, he grew up in Utah, where snow games, high winds. Apparently, his high school was situated in a canyon, according to Jackson Dart. So he's used to training in high winds. So I actually don't think weather game will be affected, but maybe Dart has the upper edge. Another note: he gets to face Caleb Williams, the guy that usurped him at USC, forced him into the transfer portal. So I always find it strange when people say, QBs are going head to head, because they're never on the field at the same time as each other. But maybe in a weather game, that's maybe where we have the edge. So Dart is ranking 16th in the NFL. in expected points added, so EPA, plus completion percentage over expectation. Well, Williams ranks just 23rd, which is kind of a good way of saying Dart's playing as a top 15, top 16 QB, and Caleb Williams is in that next tier down. And maybe in a weather game relies on the QB. Maybe that's the way. I think Williams has been bailed out by the Bears defense, who lead the league with a plus 13 turnover differential. That's 19 takeaways. So watch out for Kevin Bard III and Tremaine Edmonds, who both got 4 interceptions each this season. Each have double the best on the Giants. And that's tied for the most by any player in the NFL. Bears are having 3.12 takeaways per game against the Giants, who are only doing 1.6. So be a damn pirate maybe should be a damn bear. In fact, the Bears D has is ranked second in takeaways since 2023 as well. So it's a trait that they've taken into.
They lead the league this year as well, don't they?
Yeah, lead the league this year. Yeah. If you look at the statistics between our defense and their defense, we actually come up fairly similar, which might be shocking given how well our defense has played this season. So in points per game, they rank 29th, we rank 28th. In net yards per game, they rank 26th, we rank 29th. In net passing yards per game, we rank 24th, they rank 25th. So if you on the face of it, it's very, very similar. Where we're seeing a big difference is the Bears D has been excellent on 3rd and long. They're by far and away the best in the league when they have an opponent in 3rd and long, in preventing them from converting, something like 19%. And they're kind of, and obviously with the turnovers that we've just mentioned as well, they're turning the ball over at a really high rate especially compared to our defense. They're the two differences. However, we've not been a team that's been turning the ball over much either. Obviously, we had the Saints game with 5 turnovers, but Dart has been playing really well protecting the ball. We haven't had too many things. 3rd downs worry me because we've not been particularly efficient on 3rd down. Obviously, we've had some key drops on 3rd down. Theo Johnson has drawn a lot of ire of his drops this week. He's also only completing 44% of his contested catches. So Theo Johnson's not even. So one of the 3rd down drops that I had from last week was actually credited as a contested catch, so therefore not a drop. But his percentage is really low. Incidentally, he's only completing 63% of his targets, with Daniel Bellinger is completing 91.6, and Daniel Bellinger's yards per route run are 2.26, which is 4th out of qualifying tight ends. Theo Johnson's under 1 yard per route run, and kind of nowhere in the list, so I haven't pulled out the number. Final point, Bears have given up 11.1 yards per attempt to opposing QBs on scrambles, which is 31st in the league. So get your Dart anytime touchdown and over 36.5 rushing yards, which is the current lines that are set on there for a nice 3-1 bet. Put 10p on that, and you'll be able to buy a Fredo.
If you're lucky. How much are Fredos now? £100? Something like
that? Yeah, I think they're still the same price, but they've just got smaller, right? They're now like penny sweets. So get them in miniature heroes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. So, very quick question to you, Craig. Do you think we can continue to stop turning the ball over and play smart football, or are you worried about this defense?
Difficult, isn't it? Because when you get someone like that, I think a lot of the time, if you look at this game, the turnovers are going to be down to ricochets more than mistakes. I think Dart's been very, very good at not doing stupid things. Obviously, we saw a couple in the Saints game, but one of those we've already said was kind of like a fourth down, like make or break situation. He had to do it, and the other one was his receiver not running his full route. So, you take those away. I don't think he's made any stupid turnovers in the terms of throwing. He did have the stupid fumble in the Saints game. And I think he's learned from that. So I think we'll probably be okay. What I'm worried about is those little circus plays. So, if Slayton can't keep hold of the ball, or if Theo Johnson or Wandale gets popped and the ball goes up in the air, these boys are ball hawks and they're proving it. And I think that's more likely where we're going to see a turnover. But I do have confidence in Dart to kind of minimalise that.
Exactly that. I think with their defensive stats, I think when they gave up, was it 52 points to the Lions near the beginning of the season, and was it 47 to the Bengals last weekend? So I think those two high scores against them probably skews the stats a little bit in terms of points per game. But their defense is pretty legit, to be fair, and I think it'll be a difficult game for this offense. Shane, defense. What are we saying?
Shit.
I think 3 words come to mind.
Well,
the run.
Yeah, I mean, you look at stopping the run. We're not going to, but I'll talk about it anyway, just for 30 seconds. So, ideally, we need to stop the run. You look at the Bears running stats for this year. You've got Carl Mongai. He's gotten 68 attempts, 5.3 yards per carry. He's not too much of a touchdown merchant, though. He's only got one on the year. But DeAndre Swift, the guy who has kind of made a decent career for himself, to be fair. He's had 100 attempts now on the season. He's at 4.6 yards per attempt. He's got just 4 touchdowns. I mean, if you want to go further down, there's a running back called Britton Bowen. He's probably going to get a touchdown against us because we just give him up against running backs.
Guaranteed.
And also Roshan Johnson, who hasn't seen much of the field at all. He's the lowest running back on the Bears team at the minute. We've only two rushing attempts this year, so there's all good possibility that he could equal his rush attempts and touchdowns in one game against the Giants, to be perfectly honest with you. In regards to the pass game, we're going to be shit at that as well, but just entertainment wise, if you look at the Bears, they've got a good receiving core, to be fair. Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, Luther Burden, the third, who kind of hasn't really seen too much of the field. I think he's been mainly playing on special teams, and he's a threat in that department as well. He's got great speed, and even tight ends. We know we love to give touchdowns up to tight ends. You got the rookie Colston Loveland as well. Loveland currently at the minute is 234 yards for 2 touchdowns, and I think that ranks 4th in tight ends. So
we love giving up touchdowns to tight ends.
Rookie tight ends this year are having a really productive year, to be honest with you. He's kind of the top 2 in Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren, but Harold Fannin, Kev's boy, and Aronde Gadsden, who's with LA, have both kind of been productive as well. But I mean, I think the key thing for me is the defense is shit. The defensive coordinator is shit. We can't stop the run. We're going to be a cornerback down, hopefully not a safety down, and tight ends love to tear us up. So it's not. If I was a weatherman, I'd be saying it's not looking very good this weekend. It's not going to be a positive outcome. But just the question I'll ask for you 3: are we all in agreement the defense and the defensive coordinator is shit? Just to make sure we're on the same page. There's no objections there. So my question I'll ask each of you 3 guys. It only has to be 30 seconds. But defense is shit. The season's pretty much gone. When this defense steps onto the field, what are you looking for? What do you want to see? Is it players not giving up? Is there a certain player you're going to be keeping an eye on? When the defense steps onto the field, what are you guys going to be looking out for and hoping for?
Aaron, you want to go first?
Yeah. To be honest, I kind of just focus on the defensive line, and hopefully we're getting pressure on the QB and, like you say, effort on the plays, that kind of thing. But yeah, I'm expecting breakdowns and all these kind of things. It's not going to be a whole defense performance, dominating performance. And maybe we get a little bit of weather that helps us. Strong winds that blows a few passes off course. Maybe it hit Banks in the face and he'll hold on to it and he'll get a pick.
I mean, there are more chances of Cam Scatterby coming back from injury this weekend and running it in for a touchdown than Tay Banks intercepting the Caleb Williams pass. I'm sorry.
I mean, it's a lock if he was to do it against our defense.
Yeah. Exactly. Craig?
I just want to see effort. I just want to see effort. There are too many players who are saying that they're giving it their all, and then you look back at the film and you're seeing there's not. Dex is saying that he's giving it his all. Okay, on his pass rush, yeah, maybe he's being double teamed a lot, but then you see some of them where, the runner goes through and Dex isn't pursuing, and you just think to yourself, you should be giving 100% all the time. Carl Banks has called it out on the Believe podcast this week that there's too many people not doing it. Lawrence Tyne said the exact same thing, and he said that the difference is that in his day you would have had Tuck, you would have had OC, you would have had all these different Corey Blackman and all these different defensive players who would have called it out, and it's almost like the defensive players who should be holding the others accountable aren't, and now the others are getting away with it.
You've got to look at it, and then the two people you've got to look at that for the captains, right?
Yeah,
Bobby and Dex.
Yeah,
they sort them out.
If coaches aren't going to hold people accountable, then the other players in that room need
and
to
Burns as well. Sorry, 3 of them.
But the thing is though, if the coach isn't going to, then it's just a slippery slope, and it's something you're never going to overcome if the coaches can't do it. Just for me, there's one thing two things I look out for actually. My boy 51, I watch him on pretty much every play, and then Dan mentioned him Brian Burns. Like, it's a crying shame he's on this defense this year, because if he was on a half decent defense, he'd be getting much more recognition.
He'd be in the running for DPOY right now.
I think he should be in the running for it, and he should, based through these first 8 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever it is.
But he won't be because he's on the Giants.
Yeah,
I think he's 8th favourite.
He should be All Pro as well, first team All Pro. It's not even close. It should be him and Myles Garrett.
Yeah, 100%. I just want to see his defense play with some fucking heart. Play with some heart, wrap the tackles up, make a play. It's not much to ask, is it?
I thought of one more. I also want the defense ignoring Shane Bowen's instructions and just all blitzing.
I'd love it.
Don't sit there back and play coverage and play 10 yards off. Just all blitz, all 10 of you, all 11 of you. Don't worry about it.
And just before the ball snap, just stone cold it and just turn over to the sideline and go.
Yeah.
But also, surely the defensive captains as well should stand up and be like, "What the fucking hell are you calling? Like, sort it out."
I don't think they can though. I think, and also Tynes made the very good point in the fact of like good players who will actually, good players who will actually give a damn on the field can overcome bad scheme. So we can blame the scheme as much as we want, but the players are just as much to blame. Just quickly, defensive player of the year, Brian Burns is 33-1. The players ahead of him are Jared Verse, Will Anderson Jr., Nick Benito, Aiden Hutchinson, Myles Garrett, and Michael Parsons is the favourite.
Yeah.
Leonard Williams is just behind him, by the way.
That's mad, isn't it? Yeah, if the Giants were a better team, he'd be way up that list. All right then. Before we get into predictions, nice little history question for you. Bears have won the last 4 games against the Giants at Soldier Field, with the last time the Giants winning in the Windy City being in Week 13 of 2007. On their way to winning it all in Super Bowl 42, the Giants won 21-16. Can you name the 3 Giants touchdown scorers from that game? And I'll give you a clue. 2 of them are running backs, and 1 of them is a wide receiver.
Shane, do you want to kick us off here?
I don't even know where he played in 2007.
Who did you say?
Tiki Barber.
No, he left in 2005.
I'm going to go with Brandon Jacobs.
No, it wasn't Brandon Jacobs.
So it has to be one of the other of the Earth, Wind and Fire. So Derek Ward.
Derek Ward did score one of the touchdowns. His stats: 24 carries, 154 yards on a touchdown.
So, Ahmed Bradshaw?
No, he wasn't one of them.
So there was a guy, because Bradshaw was like a 7th round pick.
He was.
So there was a guy who was above Bradshaw in the rotation, and then he got like completely benched, and he was a kick returner as well. I can't think of his name though, but there was a 4th guy on the roster, and so it was actually Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water, but Water fucked off or whatever.
Are we way too early for Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought so.
yeah.
I mean, Tuma.
Amani Tuma is the wide receiver. Absolutely, 6 catches, 69 yards on a touchdown.
Okay, so now it's just this other wide.
It's the other running back.
Are we going to get it?
No, I know, okay. Aaron. You're onto it, Aaron. I know you're talking about him. Ruben Drones was his name. 10 carries, 25 yards on a touchdown.
Do you remember him?
He was the 4th person for the 3-headed monster.
Yeah,
that's a Madden generated player. That is.
That's a regen.
Yeah.
To be fair, you said he did have previously 2,000-yard seasons in the NFL as a running back before he joined the Giants.
Yeah, there we go. Every day.
Bonus point then. Who was the Bears starting quarterback that day?
So I'm pretty sure it was somebody gross, and it was Rex Grossman.
It was Rex Grossman. Well done. The guy that took the Bears to the Super Bowl the previous year. Bonus point for you, Aaron. Well done.
I've got a trivia question for you, just a really quick one. Just because I don't think the guys had enough love. Out of all rookies this season, who leads the NFL in rookie total touchdowns?
Jackson Dart.
Did you say receiving or?
So all touchdowns, rushing and receiving.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like Scattered be up there.
Scatterboot leads the NFL still.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so Scatterboot has 7, RJ Harvey and has 6.
Interesting.
So he leads the NFL still.
Yeah,
I thought I'd bring him up because I'm missing my boy.
I had a look at the running back touchdowns because it's a 3-way tie: Judkins, Scatterboot, and Dart for rushing touchdowns.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, then let's predict this game before we sign off. As usual, it's Kev's up first. Or let's go for the predictions so far this season. Kev is 3 of 9, so Aaron, the lowly 2 there, lagging behind.
Got a win last week.
You did. Reverse psychology this week. Craig is, again, 3 out of 9. And then we get to the big boys. I'm 6 out of 9 and Shane 7 as well. So just ahead of me there, Shane.
Just for reference, I've not picked the Giants to win one game this season so far.
And that's why you're 7 and
2.
That's why you're 7 and 2, and that's why you're 1 ahead of me. Because I think the one time I picked them to win and you didn't, you got that over me. I can't remember even who that was against.
Saints.
Anyway, yeah, I think it was the Saints. Probably that's a great shout. Kev's prediction then, Craig, you have the honours.
Just before we go into this, Craig obviously knows. Dan Mayer, what you reckon? Going to be a clean sweep for the Bears? Do you reckon we've all gone Bears?
Kev's gone Giants.
You reckon?
He hasn't. 31-35 Bears. He's gone.
Wow, it's going to be a clean sweep then, isn't it?
Or is it? So originally, I had this as a Bears win, fairly comfortable. But then I heard about the weather game, and I've been convinced that if this is going to be this game, and if there's going to be snow flurries, I think this is going to be one of those awful games where it's maybe decided by a kick return or a defensive score and a couple of field goals. So I've gone for the Giants. And I've gone for the Giants 13-6.
Wow. You're definitely lone wolfing then. Craig.
Yeah. I can't remember what I said again because it's been. I just put it into the graphics, don't I? I sent it to you though, didn't I, Dan? Because I wasn't
You
supposed to
did.
be on tonight.
You did.
And I still can't find it, so I'm just going to reveal it. There we go. Bears win 31-27.
Yeah, I literally just found it. So yeah, 31-27 Bears. I have little confidence that this banged up Giants defense can do anything to stop Caleb Williams and these Bears running backs. 38-24 Bears.
Shane's going to back up Aaron.
I've picked the Giants to lose every game so far this season. And between now and the end of the season, I've looked, and there's one game I'm going to be backing the Giants to win. I am going to be backing the Giants to win one game, but it's not going to be this week. I've got the Bears winning 21-24. I just think that the tail end of their receiving core is going to torch us, and their running backs.
Yeah. I'm really scared about DJ Moore and Roma Dunze. You know, I just think they're going to have a game.
Yeah, definitely.
They're going to have a game. Any predictions in the comments, Craig? I think there's been a few, haven't there?
Yeah. So Holty said 27-12 Bears, 2 touchdowns for Giants, but Koo misses both PA kicks. I don't like that.
Why, Alti? Why?
Why speak it into existence? Why manifest it?
Why are you doing that to us? Like, do you not think we go through together?
So next week we're going to have a 4th kicker of the season on the roster. Are we? Fucking hell.
Oh,
wow.
It's pretty windy.
27-17 Bears for Steve. Chris is really hopeful. 34-7.
Are you okay, Chris? Are you okay? Is that Bears 34, Giants 7? Or is that Giants win 34-7?
No, that ain't Giants win 34-7.
Yeah, he said Bears will shit the bed in the next comment.
He is. He did say. He also said Koo walk-off field goal, which at 34-7 doesn't really make a lot of sense. But
no,
Chris was like, yeah, fuck it. You know, I'm just going to write what the fuck I want.
Keith's gone Bears win. Dan's prediction looks good to me. And one of my best friends, Kate, has gone 34-17 Bears because she is a Bears fan.
Nice. Any more? I think there's one more just come in.
Let's have a look. Yeah. Cowabingo. That's a great name. Love that. 21-17 Bears. I think it's close, but not able to close it out. I mean, that's fair enough. That is.
Yeah. For all those watching, obviously the only one to pick the Giants is Chris. So Chris, get howling as well, mate.
Yeah.
This is going to be yeah. We'll see what happens Sunday. Let's put it that way.
I think Chris lone wolf the Eagles as well. The Eagles' victory.
This is a side note. Did we know that DeAndre Swift didn't practice today?
Yeah, there was a
he's questionable, isn't he?
Flash groin. He was limited during the week. I think it was personal. He missed today, but he's
questionable for the weekend. Yeah,
Toils practice though.
I mean, do they need a named running back?
No.
You know, to go off against us. We've got pretty habit of letting backups go for hundreds of yards.
Anyone off the street, mate, be fine. Hand the ball off and let them run.
Let's not forget Shane Bowen was hired because of his run defensive scheme.
And on that note, that's all we have time for this evening, ladies and gents. We'll be back on Tuesday night at the usual time of 8:30 to review the game. Make sure you tune in then. Hopefully it's going to be a good game, even if it's a snow game. Who loves a snow game? I do. Anything else to add before we go, guys?
No, not really. I'm just done talking about this team.
It was nice to get on. I wasn't supposed to be on because it is technically my wedding anniversary today, but Anna's working late, so I was able to jump on for a bit. And yeah, it's been fun. Do you know what? We do these podcasts so often. We're episode 258, I think, and we've done over 150 of these on YouTube, and we are quite. And this is through our whole, peek behind the curtain. This is through the fault of my own. We are quite regimented with how we do it. But sometimes having a little bit of carnage like we've had tonight and just going off the cuff,
you know what?
It's actually really fun when we're that shit that sometimes you just talk bollocks, and we ended up talking bollocks for 45 minutes somehow.
Yep.
And we
But
haven't
sometimes that's what you need to do, right?
as Holly's mentioned, we haven't even brought the tank train out of the yard yet. It's still sitting there waiting. We've all bought tickets. We're waiting for it, but yeah.
Don't presume we've all bought tickets there, young man.
I would say as well, though, to be fair, obviously what Craig said, it gets a bit not boring but repetitive. Talk about the same thing all the time. You know, some bad calls by refs, the run defense being shit, not being able to cover. So, like, if people have got any suggestions or any topics they want to see us bring up and discuss and debate, whether it's, you know, Giants from previous years or kind of, you know, like we've spoke today about unofficially replacement of coaches. If people got ideas for stuff they want to see included in the episode, don't know what you guys think, but I'd be happy to hear that, because like I say, we've had that many therapy sessions now. A lot of them, it just feels like could probably be put on repeat and just change the team's name that we've played.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. It does get really difficult sometimes talking about the team. It's horrible repeating ourselves over and over again, especially with the issues we've got. So yeah, it's quite nice and refreshing to go off on these tangents every now and again. And like Craig said, we've talked 45 minutes of absolute bollocks this evening, and it's just been a fun one. So I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And what a way to spend a Friday night, eh? Can't complain. Looking forward to the game Sunday. Should be a good one, even if it is, like I said, even if it's snowing. I'm looking forward to it. I will be watching, and I'm sure the rest of us will be as well. So yeah, let's hope it's not as horrific as some of our predictions are. Check out our social for all the latest news. Follow the links in the description to find out where we are. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to be notified of when we go live. And thanks to everyone watching and listening for your comments this evening. We appreciate the love as usual. And happy anniversary, Craig and Anna. I hope you have a great weekend, whatever you're doing. If you're doing anything or celebrating, happy anniversary. My thanks as ever go to Shane, Craig, and Aaron for joining me. We are signing off. Until next time, let's go Giants.